We just got one of the most exciting weekly candle close just in front of us. And if you look back, you know where exactly this happened in the last market cycle. So you have the accumulation range, you break higher, retest, bounce, and that's where you get this. A little bit of consolidation and a pop through. From that point, if you are in the market just holding, you just have roughly 4 months. That's it. Which means you're now looking at the macro range where the altcoin market is about to explode. And it's not just the altcoin market showing you that. If you look at the Bitcoin, it does show you that amount of volatility. It went up, touching a new local highs, and then came back down. That was like a choppy market, kicking a lot of leverage trades. But if you do understand this point, we broke higher from this micro pattern. We are above that. That's a great thing to watch. But remember, on the weekly, Bitcoin just closed here in this range of all-time highs. That's where we are. We're getting so close to that range. And does it look like the buying energy is fading here? As of now, no. Are we running a little bit ahead of ourselves? Yes, at least as of now, it does look like we are kind of 50% above that moving average. That's a 21-day moving average. And if you look at these tops, you can see like, that was an area where we slowed down before. But with the candle close, it doesn't actually see like that. If you go into the volume side of things, you had decent buying volume, which was higher than all of these weeks, and you had a decent weekly candle. So buyers are still in control. You have a lot of opportunities playing in front of you, and that's a ton of opportunities when we talk about that. Literally, the market is exploding. You just have to look at the right coins. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We've been going through all this. If you look at the 30 days window, if you look at the 180 days window, it all gives you one idea that the market is starting to shift its gears. And that's one of the reasons why you see the acceleration in this phase here. Initially, it took like 3 months to ride that. You had to skim profits, rebuy at the bottom, then let it ride. Now, while it's happening, look at these coins. They're now running really wild. And it's just starting. And they already gave you all these ideas to understand where you have to take your profits, what are the different levels, and it's popping through. And it's not random assets, yet it may seem like it's random assets, but you had that idea. This is like 100% up since the post, right? The price right now is close to 0.72. The market was showing all these signals. And that's why I say if you are in the SI family, you get to see all of those right at the beginning before the masses enter on it. You get to ride on top of it. Now, when we come on to XRP, this is actually getting really interesting. The price of XRP stayed inside this pattern for a long while. So entire duration, we were kind of, okay, let's break higher. We did not do that. So it took 233 days and now we broke higher. That's a great thing to watch. And while we are breaking higher, volume is coming in and it's supporting it. That's a great thing to see. If you compare it with the last news and that narrative of push, you kind of get to see the price bursted through that. That was news, the narrative, the current affairs. Right now, without any of those, you're getting to see more and more volume, and it's starting to push the price ahead. Now, the market as a whole is moving, so XRP is also starting to move. When you do look at the entire segments, you're like, wow, we reached 2.5 trillion. Maybe a couple of months or 3 months back, we were like 1.5 trillion. So we just added another $1 trillion. Now, yes, what's another $1 trillion when US adds that to their depth level in 100 days, right? Now, this, I'm not pushing it as a hype to say like these guys were only talking about Bitcoin. There would be a lot of different things which they went through, but this for sure would be at least one of that topic. That means now you're getting attention. And I agree with this perspective. Yeah, we are looking for this to go up, maybe 5x, maybe 10x, maybe 15x, who knows? But this shows you there is a huge move ahead, especially next 2, 3, 4 months. It's going to be wonderful. And when you look back at this market 6 months from now, 12 months from now, you'll be like, wow, that was a huge opportunity through which I came through. I don't know whether I would see similar opportunities after this. This is going to be the perspective. Why? Because when you are looking at XRP, even at that point, you're like, okay, we had a decent break above the moving average. We closed above that. That's something positive. Because at the same time, your MACD is in the positive zone and it's crossing back to the upside. That's something to keep your mind on. Because at that point, you move on to the monthly and you're like, okay, the monthly is entering this range. Remember, when we were bouncing off from here, we gave you the thought process. Guys, we are bouncing off from the moving average. That's something great. It's bullish. Now we are trying to erase all of this, just a little bit of move. In real terms, if you put that in numbers, if the price moves just 10%, 11%, that means now you're here. You erased almost 800 plus days of price action in XRP. That's literally what's going to happen in front of us. So bulls are entering into this market. And you compare it with a lot of different assets within the same segments, and you get to see this. It's becoming more and more interesting. You're watching breakouts, continuation patterns, and that breakout is showing you huge increase in volume compared to last 4-5 weeks, and indicators are showing you an extremely bullish signal. Now, yes, when you are in Ether, when you are looking at any of these, you kind of get to see this picture easily. The monthly candle which closed 3 days back showed you Ether is now super bullish. And remember, we talked about this thing in many assets, the curvature of your moving average and how you can take benefit of that. When Bitcoin was at 49 and people were calling the tops, this was something we looked at and informed you, no, we're going higher. Maybe 50, maybe 60, maybe 70, but we're going higher, right? Now, Bitcoin is here. We haven't actually seen any big correction from the run-up, 39 towards 64. That's a big run-up without much of a corrective movement. So do you think the market is going to do something? Except, the short-term volatility for sure, it's there. But long-term, we should see something. As of now, you haven't got that for sure. But on a micro level, when you're entering, don't go ultra levered. You're going to get one more leg here. If that's going to 70, 72, there should be something. There should be a pullback. There should be a consolidation. Whatever it is, it's going to happen. Now, you go in here and you're looking at the Bitcoin dominance like, whoa, we got a rejection. But what if we go back higher to this level to retest that and get rejected? Now, yes, we would like to see that rejection breaking through this trend line to the downside. For sure, those who ride the altcoins, want that to happen. But right now, keep in mind, when you zoom in, you have some volatile movement. The daily candle closed with a long doji here. Interesting, right? So sellers came in and they pushed the price down till this range with that volume. But buyers pushed it back up and closed like nothing, zero. Fine. But it does show you that there are some sellers involved in the market. Which means if you look at this point, buyers pushed the price up, sellers came back, pushed it down. But it gave you the idea that there's a lot of buyers. trying to push the price up, and you got that follow through. So if that's to happen with all of these FOMO entering and people looking to leverage, we may actually see something like this and then a ride higher. Now, is that something new? No, we have seen these kind of moves in the market. So it's not going to be something really, really dangerous. It's going to be just a pullback, a normal pullback. While the Bitcoin dominance runs higher, we cannot neglect that as a possibility. And that kind of rhymes. When Bitcoin actually takes in all that liquidity from the market, you will see that. But that does not mean that you won't see these opportunities in the market. You will for sure watch all of this happening in front of you. So while you look at this, look for where the volume is moving. Like a meme coin now has like $3.5 billion of 24 hours traded volume. If you want to compare that with large cap coins like XRP, we're at 2 billion. Yes, it's much better. We were in just like 500 million. From there, going to a billion, 2 is great. It's perfect. But meme coins are stealing the show. With any drop in the micro level of Bitcoin dominance, you'll actually watch these guys taking in more and more and more. The hype is following them. And that's one of the reasons why when you look at, say, Phantom, when you look at, say, Jasmine, when you look at these coins which are running up, it kind of gives you the idea where those targets are, what's happening, where they are breaking higher, what's the volume, what's the measured move. All of those is actually in the charts. We went through this asset from the bounce here, saying, watch for this. Now we're going through each of those targets. Right now we're here, just at this target. So what's happening? Your ROI level, if you're in the market, is increasing, perfect. But if you're thinking about entering, it's reducing. Because maybe it's just the Pareto's law. We've been talking about this before. The last phase of the market is going to be the best phase. Again, you go back in the history, you go back, you look at what happened in the market, the total duration and the total ROI. This is not that hard to do. From the top to the bottom, you took like 399 days, but most of the ROI came in here. So in total 400 days, 300 days, you haven't done much. Last 100 days, that was the best. Right? So that 2 months, 3 months window, if we are entering there right now, don't miss it. Because this opportunity may not come for a long while. And when we say long while, remember this entire time you waited in the market. And if you're new, look at this. You may literally go through this 1,000 days plus of nothingness in the market. Yeah, if you're a buyer, net buyer, great, you're buying in, buying in, buying in. But how long? As a human being, the emotional part comes into the picture, and that's where it gets really hard. And that's why I see, have a long-term perspective and try to buy whenever possible, averaging down in an asset which you strongly believe in. So make sure the project is still valid. The project is not dead. Developers are active. You still have... Now, sometimes what happens is you like an asset extremely well, but there is no volume. Meaning the market does not like it. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't really matter because the market is not even looking at that. That's where I say, watch if the market is starting to put in more money. Now, say at that point, XRP moved from 500 million to 2 billion plus. Okay, 4x volume came in. There is interest in the market. But right now, if you look at this, you can see this. 460 million in sale to 220 in buys. What's happening? There's the first part of the month. You know what's happening, right? So wait for a week, let that supply get digested in the market. And that's usually where you see the guy XRP running higher. So you need patience because the supply just came into the market. They're going to put it back because it's not going to be used and all it's true. And that's one of the reasons why look for the total supply, look for the total amount of money entering into this market. Now, if you're not a fan of the top 100, fine. Look for the next side. You're literally watching some of these coins taking 300, 500, 700 million daily trading volume. Remember, these are big numbers for a market which was barely $1 trillion 3-4 months back. Right now, it stands at $2.5 trillion with a confirmation on a weekly, not a short-term chart, a weekly, saying I'm increasing momentum. I'm putting this into the next gear. So maybe next 2 weeks towards 6 weeks, 8 weeks, who knows? But most likely, if the history repeats, 3 to 4 months is what we can expect in most of the coins. But remember, some of those only has a nature of doing 30 days run up, 50 days run up. So some of those are going to be very short and high impulsive moves. Once you have that, take your profits, slowly step out. Don't go greedy. So guys, if you received value for your time here in the Scientific Investor family, smash that like button. And if you'd like to take benefit of all of these posts in the SI family, join the 1,000+ members and take benefit of your growing portfolio, especially in next 2-3 months. It's going to be life-changing. Now, it's not just me saying 2-3 months. It's the market showing me that. That's what I'm trying to give you. And it's not just words. Look at the last 2-3 months. It has been growing. Look at last 6 months. It has been growing. So the market is showing you there is opportunity to grow. If you decide, that comes your way. So guys, that's it for today. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.